Drink baking soda. This way to improve circulation and intimacy after 60. Senior health. I've sat in that old leather chair for more than 3 decades, listening to thousands of men in their 60s talk about a feeling that no medicine can cure. They don't come for heart attacks or knee pain. They come for a quiet loss that doesn't show up on a blood test or an MRI. A loss that only they can name. I'm not myself anymore, doctor. I used to think that was normal, that aging was a surrender. But as the years went by, these conversations became more frequent, and I began to understand. They didn't need a prescription. They needed a chance to start over, to love themselves again, to feel strong, alert, connected, to the world, to their partners, to their own hearts. That's why I started to change the way I heal. I stopped talking in cold medical terms. I told stories. The story of Thomas Reed, 68, a former engineer who feels like a rusty old machine, or Martin Lopez, 71, a retired trainer who used to have a firm handshake, but now comes to the doctor because I don't feel like a strong man anymore. These stories don't just make me think, they move me, because I too turned 60. I too woke up, looked at myself in the mirror and asked, am I fading away? That's why I wrote down everything I know. And today I want to share with you, not a medical lecture, but a long journey, the culmination of more than 30 years with men who are trying to stay alive. Not for youth, but for the sanity, intimacy, and meaning after 60. If you're reading this, you've probably sighed silently to yourself. So, let's get started, because I believe nothing is lost, you just don't know how to rekindle it. Subscribe to my channel to watch useful videos. There was an afternoon I will never forget. Thomas Reed, a quiet old engineer, came into my clinic with a sad look in his eyes. Nothing too serious physically, but when I asked, he just said quietly, I get tired after even the shortest walk, and I don't feel like myself anymore. You see, many people think that the changes after 60 are just age, but no, that's not the whole truth. What very few people talk about is the decline in blood circulation, something that affects almost every aspect of our lives. After 60, our bodies produce significantly less nitric oxide, a natural compound that helps dilate blood vessels, helping blood flow smoothly to every corner of the body. When nitric oxide decreases, blood vessels constrict, and blood becomes sluggish like a muddy river after a storm. And you know what happens next? You start to feel dizzy, tired, lack of energy. Then your memory fades, your sleep becomes restless, and the feeling of intimacy with your partner fades. It's not because you don't love yourself. It's because your body is quietly withdrawing from its natural rhythm. A friend of mine once said, aging isn't scary. What's scary is not feeling yourself anymore. That's why I started this journey, because I believe when you understand what's really going on inside you, you can start to take back control. I've seen hundreds of men who thought that thing was a thing of the past, but after just a short period of blood circulation support, miracles happen. Their eyes become brighter, their sleep becomes deeper, and their hearts beat with familiar vibrations again. I still remember the first time I flipped open a small study published in a medical journal that talked about the uses of baking soda. My first reaction? I laughed. This? The stuff I use to deodorize my fridge or make cookies? But then I read more, and my skepticism turned to curiosity, and from curiosity to conviction. You see, as we age, our body's pH begins to become unbalanced. Specifically, our body tends to become slightly acidic. That is, it leans toward an acidic environment. And do you know what an acidic environment creates? Inflammation. Blood vessels constrict. Blood becomes thick and heavy. Mental lethargy, fatigue, and a lack of interest in anything. And that's where baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, comes in as a silent savior. When used correctly and at the right time, baking soda neutralizes acid, which reduces inflammation, dilates blood vessels, increases nitric oxide production, and most importantly, restores blood flow to all the vital organs, including the ones that hold your emotions and your manhood. One thing I often tell my patients is, It's not that you're weak, it's that the blood isn't getting where it needs to go. And baking soda in this case is like a silent gatekeeper clearing the way for blood flow to get back on track. I use this method on Mr. Thomas Reed, the engineer I told you about. In the first 2 weeks, he called me early one morning, his voice clear. "Nathan, today I feel like the lights are back on." Don't get me wrong, this is not a miracle drug, but it is a small adjustment with big effects, a silent gesture of care you give yourself every morning. After my appointment with Thomas Reed, a 68-year-old man who called me emotionally just to say that the light is back, I suddenly realized the difference is not in the dosage, but in how you use baking soda. Not in using a lot, but in using it correctly. I often remind my patients, the magic lies not in the strong dose, but in the small habit. Imagine your body as a piano. Every morning, you just need to tune one note, and the whole song of the day will change. For many people, baking soda is that note. So how do I give specific instructions? First of all, the most important time to take baking soda is early in the morning, right when you wake up on an empty stomach, before breakfast and before coffee. This is when your body has an acidic pH, and a little baking soda at this time will help reset the internal environment. The dosage is simple. Just 1/4 teaspoon of pure baking soda food grade, mixed with a cup of warm water about 8 ounces, stir gently and drink slowly, not in a hurry. You should drink it 3 to 4 times a week, absolutely not every day continuously. This is not a race. It is a journey accompanying your own circadian rhythm. A little tip. You can add a slice of fresh lemon or a pinch of Himalayan pink salt to the water to increase the alkalizing effect and add minerals gently. I remember very clearly the first time I shared this recipe with Martin Lopez, a retired teacher. He told me, "Nathan, after 3 weeks, I no longer have to turn on the foot warmer in the evening." The change was not only physiological, it was emotional. It was a feeling of believing that my body was still listening to me, that it could still heal, if only I started in the right way. Every day for the past 30 years, I have met hundreds of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Some were athletes, some were carpenters, engineers, teachers, men who had stood firm in the storms of life. But then they came to me, not because of a dangerous illness, but because of something very quiet, very difficult to name. I no longer feel like myself. I will never forget the face of Charles Mason, 71, a former sports coach. His hands were still strong, but his eyes were tired as if he were carrying an invisible loss. He said, "It's not just about sex, doctor. It's the way my wife looks at me is not the same." Oh my God, that sentence haunts me forever. Then just a few weeks after starting the simple baking soda regimen, Charles came back, not for a checkup, but just to shake my hand and whisper something that made my heart sink. "I can't run a marathon, but every morning, I feel like I have a reason to get up." Charles wasn't alone. I'd heard hundreds of similar stories. I no longer need to pee 3 times a night. I don't forget what I was about to do. My wife hugs me after dinner. It's been a long time. You see, these things aren't miracles. They're resurrections. And what moved me the most was that they weren't talking about the physical. They were talking about the emotional, about feeling valued, heard, connected, to themselves and to the people they love. Because you know what? When the blood starts to circulate well again, memory becomes clearer, sleep becomes deeper, and the eyes of the woman next to you are different, softer, warmer. I always tell my patients, it's not old age that knocks you down, it's the disconnection that makes you retreat. And if you're feeling that way, I just want you to know you're not alone. There are thousands of men like you who are quietly taking the first steps to being themselves again, starting with just a glass of warm water with a little baking soda every morning. I often tell my patients, a small change done right can save a life, but that same change, done wrong, can make you start all over again. I don't say that to scare you, but to keep you sane. Over the years, I've seen too many men, after seeing a glimmer of hope, accidentally extinguish it themselves by making these 5 common mistakes. The first mistake is thinking that more is better. A teaspoon of baking soda is not a miracle drug. When I recommend 1/4 teaspoon mixed with warm water, that's a carefully considered dose based on age, liver and kidney function, and the body's ability to regulate pH after age 60. Yet some people still increase the dose to a full spoonful because they think more will speed up the effect. As a result, they get bloated. Their blood pressure rises, their body feels tired, and the worst part, they return to the starting point with greater disappointment than before. The second mistake is drinking baking soda every day without a break. Even a good workout needs a day off for the body to recover, and so does baking soda. I always emphasize 3 to 4 times a week is enough. Drinking it every day will unbalance the body and cause an adverse reaction. The third mistake is using impure baking soda. Some people choose to buy cheap, strange labeled types that may contain aluminum or toxic additives. What you need to do is choose the food-grade type without flavorings or preservatives. The fourth mistake is not diluting baking soda in warm water. Some patients even swallow the powder straight because they are afraid to mix it. That is a dangerous action. Baking soda needs to be diluted properly so that the body can absorb it slowly and exert its effects. Your body is an intricate system. Treat it with kindness and wisdom. And the fifth and most serious mistake is ignoring your primary care physician. I understand that many people are hesitant to talk to their doctor about natural remedies, but don't hide it from them. If you have a history of high blood pressure, kidney disease, or taking diuretics, even baking soda, while benign, needs to be closely monitored. This is a supportive journey, not a replacement for modern medicine. I share these things not to discourage you, but because I want you to succeed, not just for a few weeks, but for the rest of your life. No one wants to get halfway there and then be back where they started. If you've read this far, I believe you're someone who's serious about your health. You're not looking for a miracle. You're just looking for a way to get started, slowly but surely. And that's what I tell all my patients after their first visit. Start small, but do it right. Start by preparing a 1/4 teaspoon of food-grade baking soda, an 8-ounce glass of warm water, not too cold, not too hot, and a quiet corner where you're not in a rush. The best time to drink it is first thing in the morning, right after you wake up on an empty stomach. That's when your body is most acidic, and when baking soda is most powerful at balancing your pH. Mix baking soda into water, stir gently to dissolve, and drink slowly. Don't rush. After taking it, just sit still for 5 to 10 minutes. Breathe deeply and feel. Let your body listen. The frequency of use should be only 3 to 4 times a week. Don't take it every day. Like any treatment, the body needs time to rest, to regenerate. The magic is not in the dosage, but in the regularity and intelligence. And don't forget to monitor yourself. Do you feel lighter? Are you more alert on Tuesday morning? Are your emotions a bit brighter? Is your energy less sluggish? If so, write it down, because it is these small changes that are the first signs of revival. I will always remember the time I met Mr. Harold, a retired mechanic, 74 years old. After 10 days of applying this method, he didn't talk about health, didn't talk about fitness. He just looked at me and whispered, "This week, she looked at me like when we were newlyweds, doctor." His voice trembled, and I know he came back to himself. Not with pills, but with a small choice, over and over again, with love and patience. You can start too, starting tomorrow morning. Just a glass of water, a small spoon, and a promise to yourself. I will care for myself, even in the smallest way. And if you are still here, still listening, then please join me in the finale. A final message from me, Dr. Nathan Wells, dedicated to you, the man who never gave up. If you take only one thing away from this journey, I hope it is this: you are never out of value, and it is never too late to start over. In my 3 decades of practice, I have seen countless men sit before me with weary eyes, clenched fists, and then let out a sigh. "Doctor, I think my age is over." They are not talking about physical strength. They are talking about self-worth, about the pride that has slowly receded, about the feeling of helplessness when they no longer believe they can provide emotion, intimacy, or a warm hug to their partner. I want you to know, you do not need to have bulging muscles, run marathons, or achieve some kind of achievement to feel alive. What you need is to reconnect with yourself, deeply and truly, because the blood in your body is more than just biological fluid. It is energy, it is clarity, it is connection. It's the warm feeling when someone touches you and you really feel it. I, Nathan Wells, also spent years forgetting what my body was telling me. I ignored the signs of fatigue. I tried to be strong, until one day I understood taking care of yourself is not weakness. It's courage, quiet but steady. You've been with me through all 7 chapters. You've understood why blood flow slows after 60. You know how baking soda can help if you use it correctly. You've listened to real-life stories from ordinary men like you who are slowly coming back to themselves. And now the only thing I want you to believe is, aging doesn't take away your dignity. Self-abandonment does. 6 bathing habits that could shorten your life after 60 and how to improve them for better health. Have you ever stopped to think that the way you bathe could actually be shortening your life? It may sound odd, but the truth is, as we age, the way we bathe becomes more important than most people realize. Bathing isn't just about getting clean, it's about protecting your skin, preserving your energy, preventing injuries, and even boosting your heart and immune system. Too many of us continue bathing the same way we did when we were younger, not realizing that habits that once worked for us might now be doing more harm than good. In this video, we'll uncover 5 common bathing mistakes that older adults need to stop making, because the small changes you make today can add years to your life. Stick around, because what you'll learn here could transform the way you take care of yourself every day, and maybe even change the course of your health for the better. Let's dive in. Number 1, bathing with water that's too hot. Have you ever turned the water up extra hot when taking a shower, especially on a cold day or when your joints ache? It feels comforting, doesn't it? For John, 68 years old, it was part of his daily routine. That soothing heat felt like a small luxury, but what he didn't realize was that this habit was silently working against him. As we age, our skin becomes thinner, more delicate, and slower to heal. Hot water, while it feels great, strips away the natural oils that protect our skin. These oils are like armor. Without them, the skin becomes dry, itchy, and more likely to crack. For someone like John, who already had sensitive skin, this meant constant irritation, occasional rashes, and even small wounds that took weeks to heal. But the risks don't stop at dry skin. Hot water also causes blood vessels to expand, which can lead to sudden drops in blood pressure. One day after a hot shower, John felt dizzy and nearly collapsed. That was his wake-up call. So what did he change? It was simple. He switched from hot showers to warm ones. Warm water still relaxes your muscles and gives you that pleasant feeling without shocking your system. A good rule of thumb, if your skin turns red during or after a shower, your water is too hot. Just that small change helped John's skin recover and reduced his dizziness episodes. As Socrates once said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. You don't need to make big, dramatic moves to protect your health after 60. Sometimes it's the smallest habits that make the biggest difference. So ask yourself, how hot is your shower water? Could a simple adjustment today help you avoid a serious health issue tomorrow? If this story made you think, imagine how many others could benefit from hearing it too. Help us share these valuable life lessons with more people. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new tip for better health, happiness, and longevity after 60. Your future self will thank you. Number 2, bathing too frequently. Have you ever asked yourself, is taking a daily shower after 60 really good for my health? It might seem like a harmless habit, something we've done for decades without a second thought. But as we grow older, our bodies change, and so does our skin. After the age of 60, our skin produces less natural oil, becomes thinner, and loses its ability to retain moisture. When you bathe too frequently, especially using harsh soaps, you may be stripping away essential protective oils. The result? Dry, itchy, cracked skin that becomes more vulnerable to infections. Take the story of Margaret, a 74-year-old who was convinced that daily showers were the key to staying clean and healthy. She stuck to her routine religiously. Hot water, plenty of soap, every single day. But over time, she noticed her skin becoming tight, flaky, and uncomfortable. It wasn't until she spoke with her doctor that she realized her bathing habits might be doing more harm than good. Meanwhile, Eleanor, age 72, faced similar issues but made a small change that brought big relief. She began bathing every other day and focused on gentle cleansing methods. Warm water instead of hot, and a mild fragrance-free cleanser. She also began moisturizing right after bathing. Within weeks, her skin felt calmer, more hydrated, and far less irritated. This raises an important question. Are we holding on to habits that no longer serve us? Cleanliness is important, of course, but it's time to rethink what clean really means as we age. Instead of full-body showers every day, consider washing key areas like the face, underarms, and private parts daily, while allowing the rest of the body to rest and recover. You can also use gentle cleansing wipes or a soft cloth on non-shower days. As Ralph Waldo Emerson wisely said, "Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience." Aging gracefully means slowing down, listening to your body, and adjusting your habits with care and kindness. Your skin, especially after 60, needs more love, not more soap. So the next time you step into the shower, ask yourself, am I nourishing my body or just following an old habit? Health after 60 doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less, but doing it better. Protecting your skin is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to improve your overall well-being. It's never too late to start treating your body with the gentle care it truly deserves. Number 3, showering without a sturdy support system. Everyday habits that seem harmless can have a significant impact on our health. One of the most dangerous habits is showering without a proper support system. Bathroom falls are one of the leading causes of injury among older adults, especially when showering. Wet surfaces, soapy floors, and the need to twist or bend can easily lead to serious accidents. Take a moment to consider the story of James, an 81-year-old man who never installed grab bars or safety features in his bathroom. One morning, he lost his balance and fractured his hip. On the other hand, Robert, at the age of 75, installed grab bars and a non-slip mat in his shower. When he slipped, the grab bar prevented a serious injury. Their stories show just how important it is to take proactive steps to ensure safety in the bathroom, as simple tools like grab bars, shower chairs, and non-slip mats can make all the difference. These safety features are not only for the elderly or sick, they are essential for anyone who wants to stay safe and independent. You don't need to wait for an accident to happen before you make changes. Installing these tools in your bathroom can help prevent a range of injuries that could affect your quality of life, especially as you age. Bathroom accidents can happen at any time, and without the proper support system, a simple slip can lead to broken bones, joint injuries, or even brain trauma. These types of injuries can take a long time to recover from and may have lasting effects on your health. So, why wait until something bad happens before taking action? The truth is, setting up safety measures like grab bars and non-slip mats is not difficult or expensive. These simple tools are effective and can help you maintain your independence and safety as you age. All it takes is a little time and effort to make these changes to your bathroom. Consider this. Are you ready to invest in your own safety and reduce the risk of accidents? The answer is likely yes, because safety is always a top priority. As Benjamin Franklin famously said, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." Using simple safety features like grab bars, shower chairs, and non-slip mats can help you avoid unnecessary risks. Don't wait for an accident to make you realize how important these tools are. Take action today to ensure you can continue living a safe, healthy, and independent life for years to come. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips and life lessons for older adults. Stay safe, stay independent,